Hello, Riet from the Codecks team here, and in this video I want to show you dependency tracking for game developers. So it has finally arrived, dependency tracking inside of Codecks. You've been asking for it. And what are the benefits of dependency tracking? Well, there are multiple, but one of them is you can very easily visualize that a card is not supposed to be started working on until prerequisites are fulfilled. That means other cards are done. It can be one or multiple other cards. And another benefit is that follow-up workers will automatically be notified that their work can now be started. So it helps with, in multidisciplinary teams, it helps with handing off one task from one department to another because they will be automatically notified. So how do you enable dependencies? You just go, as usual, into the organization settings, lots of exciting stuff inside the features section. And then right at the bottom, you will find the new card dependencies. It's in beta now, but quite stable already, ready to be used. We're looking for your feedback. And it is a pro-only feature. So you will have to have a paid plan or be part of the free educational license that you can apply for if you are a student or an educational worker. So let me show you a dependency in action. You can use dependencies on any card, even on individual cards. So let's look at this hero card for this generic dependency system that we're exactly talking about. We went through a lot of iterations until we arrived at this point, but now it's ready for you. Let's say I have the sub card that's part of the hero card of the dependency feature, which is about creating this video, exactly this video. So this is quite meta. And let's say there's another subcard in here which says release the beta version. I want to make sure that once we release this feature, you have this video available for you to understand what the feature is about and helping you on board on this feature. So let's say I want to make sure that Daniel doesn't push the release button until this video is done. So I can go into his card, go at the bottom here, and I will see incoming and outgoing dependencies. So incoming means cards that are locking this card. Outgoing means cards that are following this card. So there are neither of those, no dependencies at all related to this card. So I can toggle this inspector and then go over here to add a card, a locking card. So let's add a card here. I can search for one, and I want to make sure I add the create video card. So this will make it so that Daniel is now aware of the fact that he shouldn't release this beta version until I'm ready and I have done the video. So what happens if he starts to work on this card nonetheless? He will get a warning. So when he clicks to start working on this card, I can show you that. Let's just assign it to myself and just act as if I would push the release button. If I click on this card, it realizes that there is an unfilled requirement and it warns me about it. I can choose to be a bad developer, kind of a bad boy, and ignore the dependency and still start the card. But let's not do that for now. I just say, oh, I didn't realize, and I cancel this action, and I wait until the other card is done. When it gets done, I will get a notification here in the bottom right, where our other notifications show up as well. That lets me know that, hey, this card is ready now for you to act on it. This notification at the moment is only triggered if the card switches from one person to another. So in this case, since I'm owning both cards, I wouldn't get a notification for this. But if Daniel owns this other card, the release beta card, as he should, then he will be automatically notified once I set the create video card to done, which I will probably do after being done with recording this video. As you know, I'm a big fan of journeys. I say it in every video. So journeys are our way of setting up asset pipelines, basically. We're using them a lot in our GDD here, for example. And let's say I want to use a dependency inside of a journey. That's when you get really into powerful territory. So I can go into the character ideas. For example, there's a journey here. We're experimenting with a new icon here, so don't be surprised. And as before, I can go into these cards, just hover at the bottom right and select a locking card. So a card that is locking this card. I can also directly from here add a card that is being locked by this card, the one that I'm looking at. So setting this up in journeys can be a bit time consuming. So we made it easier for you by adding a dedicated bulk action for that. So the so-called chain action. It works by, let me select a bunch of cards, for example, these ones, and then I can click on the dependency icon. It will inform me what it does, which is creating a chain. And now you can see there's this mini icon here. So all of these cards have dependencies. And for example, this art brief card, which was the second card inside of this process, is now locked by the previous card, which was design, and is locking character art. So this makes it really easy to set up long dependency pipelines. What we notice in our own use case is that a linear dependency chain is probably, it's a likely case, but not super useful. This gets especially interesting if you have inside of a journey, you have tracks which can happen in parallel. So for example, what we notice for our cards is that the art cards were dependent on each other and had to happen in a sequence, but at the same time, the game design department could go ahead and already script up the prototype, script up weapon tuning and all that stuff without having to rely on the art, which could arrive at a later point. So what we usually do is, in our case, most journeys have multiple tracks, multiple chains of these. For example, let's say I want to chain these ones and create another chain. And now I have two parallel chains, basically. This one, the character art cutting, ends at this point here. And here is another dependency chain which starts at this point. I can also hook up multiple dependencies to one card. So for example, let's say I want the design to only start after this first card has been done. And I also want this one, the general animations card, to only be done when the first card is done. So now I have kind of created a branching dependency chain where this first card is locking two cards at the same time. And then once each of these cards is unlocked, the following cards can happen in parallel to each other. And kind of allowing this kind of complexity and powerful use case was important to us because we found in our own journeys that we are heavily relying on pretty complex journeys and pipelines. And it was important for us to allow the dependencies to reflect that. So that's the dependency system. It is, like I said, in beta, which is mostly due to us looking to your feedback, for your feedback. So let us know what you think. Let us know where you would like to see it grow and develop further. And I'm super excited for your feedback. And that's all. So until the next one.